War, famine, disease, a world spiraling into chaos. You know, we've all heard someone say it, the Four Horsemen are riding. But what does that really mean? Let's dive into this, because the popular image of four chaotic riders is a world away from the ordered, prophetic sequence that's actually described in the book of Revelation. So that's the big question we're going to tackle. We're going to break down exactly who these riders are, what they really represent, and where they fit into the end times timeline according to the source material. And here's a hint. This isn't a story about random chaos. It's about a very specific, very calculated beginning. All right, so to really get the horsemen, you got to go back to where it all begins, and that's in the throne room of heaven, as described in the book of Revelation. The whole scene is set with God on his throne, and he's holding a scroll that's sealed shut. That scroll is the key to everything that's about to happen. Now, this scroll isn't just some old document. It's literally God's plan to judge evil and reclaim the earth. And get this, according to the text, nobody in heaven or on earth is found worthy to open it. Nobody. Until the Lamb, who is identified as Jesus Christ, steps forward. And the moment he starts breaking those seals, that's when judgment is officially initiated.
So when does all this happen? Well, these events are understood to unfold during a very specific window of time called the tribulation. According to this prophetic view, you can think of it as a future 7-year period that kicks off after the church has been removed from the earth in an event we know as the Rapture. And you know, this judgment isn't just one big chaotic mess. It's actually incredibly structured. It starts with the 7 seals, but then the 7th seal opens up to reveal 7 trumpets. And then the 7th trumpet, that one contains the 7 bowls. So where do our 4 horsemen fit into all this? They're just the first 4 seals. They are literally the opening act. And this right here, this is a total game changer in how you think about all this. The horseman riding doesn't mean the world has spun out of control. It means God is allowing humanity to finally experience the full natural consequences of its own rebellion. It's all within his sovereign plan. Judgment begins when God stops holding it back. Okay, so let's get into it. The first seal is opened, and out comes a white horse. And honestly, this rider is probably the most misunderstood figure in the whole prophecy. A lot of people see white horse and immediately think it's Christ. But if you look closer at the details, you realize it's something way, way more sinister. So Revelation 6 gives us the profile, right? He's on a white horse, he's got a bow, he's given a crown, and he rides out to conquer. Every single one of these details is a clue, and it's what separates him from the real Christ who shows up later. Okay, look at this side by side. The details tell the whole story. This first horseman wears a Stephanos. That's like a victor's wreath, what an athlete would get. But when Christ returns in Revelation 19, he's wearing many diadems. Those are the crowns of royalty. The horseman has a bow. Christ has a sword coming from his mouth. See the difference? This first guy conquers through fake peace and slick politics. He's the ultimate counterfeit savior, the Antichrist. So once this phony peace is set up, boom, 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 the next 3 seals are opened in really quick succession. And this isn't random at all. What happens next is a perfect cause and effect chain reaction, a cascading series of consequences that flows directly from that first rider's deception. And of course, that counterfeit piece from the Antichrist, it's super fragile, and it shatters almost right away. The second seal unleashes a rider on a fiery red horse, and his job is to literally take peace from the earth. The result is catastrophic. Humanity just turns on itself, and global war breaks out. That red color, well, you can probably guess what that symbolizes: immense bloodshed. Global war inevitably destroys supply chains and infrastructure, right? And that leads directly to the next judgment. When the third seal is opened, a black horse appears. Its rider is holding a pair of scales, a clear symbol of severe economic turmoil and famine. The text is shockingly specific here. A full day's wage will only buy a single meal. That shows you just how dire the scarcity becomes. The consequence of deception, followed by war, followed by famine, is predictably widespread death. When the 4th seal is opened, the rider is actually named Death. And the scale of his authority is just staggering. He's given the power to kill 1/4 of the entire world's population. Just let that sink in for a second. 1 out of every 4 people. And this devastation comes from a horrifying culmination of everything that came before. The 4th horseman's arsenal includes the sword of war, starvation from famine, death by pestilence or disease that runs rampant in a collapsed society, and even attacks from wild animals as the natural order itself just unravels. It is the cumulative effect of a world completely unhinged.
So let's step back for a second and put all these pieces together. Let's see where the Four Horsemen fit into the bigger prophetic picture. Because understanding this sequence, well, that's the key to understanding their true purpose. Okay, so here's how it all fits together. The Four Horsemen are not the final apocalypse. They are the opening wave of judgments that kick off the 7-year tribulation. They mark the true beginning of the end, a period that starts with the Antichrist's deceptive peace and concludes with the visible, triumphant return of Jesus Christ. As we've seen from the source material, the Four Horsemen aren't just ancient symbols or a vague myth. In this interpretation, they are a literal and prophetic warning, a detailed preview of the beginning of God's final judgment on the earth. And that leaves us with one final, pretty sobering thought. If this is just the opening of the scroll, the very beginning of judgment, what does that reveal about the ultimate power and authority of the one who was found worthy to open it in the first place?